Hi everyone, my name's Rob, I'm a smartphone filmmaker, and today I'm going to show you how to use Filmic Pro's grid guide to make professional composition. So we're going to take you from shots like this to making really stunning shots like this. Now, if you're new to this channel, thank you for joining me. I cover everything smartphone filmmaking, so do hit that subscribe button, hit the like button to help this channel grow and so that you don't miss out any more of this smartphone filmmaking goodness. Now, without any further ado, let's get on with it. To bring up the grid guide, we're going to press the settings on the bottom right hand side of the screen here, and we're going to go into our main menu. Now on the bottom right hand side you can see guide here, so if we tap that it will now go to black. And when it's black that means that it's now on screen and ready to use. So how are we going to use the grid guide? Well, where the lines meet in the middle, those are going to be our points of interest. So props that you find really important for your story is highlighted here with the red markers, or actors' faces, that kind of thing. We want them roughly in that area. We're also going to use the grid guide itself, the lines, so highlighted in yellow here, to separate things like our horizons from our landscapes, and we're going to work on the rule of thirds as well. Using the rule of thirds on the lower third here, we can see that the car takes up most of this screen on that part, and it's in the point of interest, which is great. However, the yellow line going across here shows us that the top third of the screen isn't dominated by the bridge like we want it. It's kind of messy, it looks a little bit out of place, and on the left hand side here we can see with the red line going down, we want that to be in line with the bridge in some way or another to tidy this shot up. We want to make it look like a painting rather than a messy picture. So we moved it to the left, we've got the car in the bottom right hand side still, highlighted by the point of interest, and the line going across is now in line with the bridge, which is fantastic. Unfortunately, we've got all of this waste of space now on the left hand side, highlighted by the red line. We want to bring this back towards the right, find the balance and make those all fit. So we have that here now. The points of interest fall on the bottom of the brick wall of the bridge, on the car, and the line going across fits really well with the actual bridge itself, the railway bridge. So everything ties in and it looks like a painting now, and it looks really neat and great and pleasing to the eye. So we've gone from this, which looks okay, slightly passable, to something that looks much more pleasing to the eye now, and this is what we really want from the shot, and make it look like something that's in a film. In this shot we can see the lower thirds dominated by the landscape, so the road and the cars. Then as we look up to the further on the screen, in this shot we can see that the upper third is the sky, the horizon, and the middle is the houses. So this is really split into the rule of thirds here, and it looks really symmetrical as well. Anything symmetrical looks pleasing to the eye, so where we can do that, that's great as well. We've got the points of interest here, so you can see that the cars match up with the points of interest, the tops of the houses match up with the points of interest, and everything looks really pleasing and professional. Now this is a shark that I found, not a real one obviously, this is one I found on a bin, and it looks okay where it is. It's not too bad, it's near the bottom right point of interest, but we can make this look better. So on the bottom left, yes, we've now moved the shark, it's on that point of interest, and now we've got way more of the path in, so you can bring in more of a story, you can tell more story, rather than having a shot that kind of looks like it could be from anything and it could be going nowhere. This is a great way to use the grid guide, so if you want to do a frame within a frame, this little play frame literally allows us to do that. You can get the points of interest all matched up, the lines all matched up. It's a very simple way to do this, and you can use it on Windows as well. We use the same effect here as well, so this is literally every, I don't know, ninth of this screen as well is blocked into a nice little section. And you've got the middle there nicely framed, you've got the upper third at the top of the building is the sky, middle third is the pathway, the alleyway, and so on. Now with the padlock here on the top left, it's important, it quite dominates the screen, it's the first thing you look at. So if you want to tell a story where someone's going to break in perhaps, and they're going to smash this open, then that's important to do it like that. But if you bring it to the lower part of the grid, then you can see it's not as important, and the main focus and I suppose purpose of the scene is what's behind it. In this shot we're going to take it slightly more complicated, so we've got the rails and the tree that lines up here. So we're bending the rules now, so like I say, these are guides, not mainly rules you have to stick to, but you do have the horizon in the upper third, and the lower two thirds are dominated by the landscape now, so we're changing it around and playing with it a little bit here to get something quite different and usual. This shot perfectly shows why you don't want to put things in the middle. It's not terrible, it's not particularly ugly, but it just looks a little bit off, and again it's not pleasing to the eye. So if we want to make this a bit more interesting, we place it on the right hand side, the right line here, and you can see a lot more of the environment around it and behind it. So if you're doing a horror film, something like that, and you want to show like a street or a house, you can show the sign on that side of the screen or the left, whatever you want to do, and then have the environment as dominating as well. This is a really great shot to show you how to use the rule of thirds as well. So this again doesn't look like a terrible shot. You've got the person in the middle, you've got the bridge in the background going towards the left, but we can fix this really well by moving the shot upwards and to the left. So now the lower third of this screen is the landscape, the middle third is the bridge and the man running off into the distance, and the upper third is the sky. Use buildings as well to help you with your rule of thirds. So if you're in a city particularly, then you can use this to your advantage, and you can find shapes that you're finding within buildings as well to guide yourself. And we can see you've got the tree on the left, the building on the right, the wall running along the bottom of this, and that building on the left hand side is in the middle third, so it all lines up really well with the grid guide. Now we're going to talk about framing with purpose, so looking at your props and your actors, things like that, and where to put them to tell a story. Now on the top left here, we've got the box where a key could go in. On the bottom right, we've actually got the keys here, which could be used to break into either the box or what someone's used to break into a building. If you put them towards the back, the keys, the image almost looks flat, it looks kind of bad. And then if you put it towards the front, in front of the box, it just looks messy. So you can see again, if you put it back into that spot on the front right, and on that point of interest, it just looks like it's got a reason to be there, and it's part of the story rather than just there by accident or something, and just looks a little bit messy and pointless. Always place your props somewhere that the eyes are going to be drawn to. So you can have someone opening the box, and then picking up the keys and taking them, and it looks great. Now, in this shot, this really handsome, sexy actor, don't know who his name is, he's on the right-hand side line here, and on the left-hand side line, we've got the hoodie. So this is a very basic use of the rule of thirds. We're not particularly using all sections of it, but we're framing it nicely and making sure everything works for the image in the picture and the story. In this one, we've got a Christmas decorating scene. So you've got the Christmas tree on the right-hand side, the yellow line here. On the left-hand side, we've got this mini tree. Perfectly lines up with the left-hand side. And you've got the houses in the middle. And when you put a prop into screen, think about where you're putting it as well. When you watch a film, props are never placed randomly. They're almost always placed in a specific place, and that's for a reason as well, because it's pleasing and it draws the audience's eyes to it. So looking at framing people, if they're moving, it's quite tricky. You want to keep them to the left-hand side or the right, but you can put them in the middle as well. And this shows that whilst it works, we can do something a bit different with this, a bit more interesting. Now, I promise you, this was within 10 minutes of the first shot. It's just UK terrible weather and light going down within a heartbeat. Now, as we go through this shot, we've placed the actress on the left-hand side line, and it works really well because as she's looking to the right, you keep those 2/3 of the screen more empty, a bit more spacious. And as we move with the actress to the right-hand side, we want to keep those 2/3 empty ahead of her. So whatever direction your actor or actress is walking in, keep more space ahead of them so they're walking into space rather than nothing. Here's a really great shot where you can see the head looking up at the building. Now, it makes the building look quite ominous and domineering, and the actress's head is on the left-hand side as well, so that matches up. And again, we're playing with the rule of thirds here a little bit. And as we pan upwards, it makes it look even more domineering. And you've got the upper third with the roof and the skies, and the 2/3 of it is taken up by the building, with just 1/3, if that, of the actress's head. So it makes her look less important and the building look really important. If you want to flip that, have the actress facing you with those lines on the left-hand side, right in line with it, and the points of interest where her face is. And the building behind makes her look more powerful. Maybe she's in charge of the building. Here we've got the plaque on the bottom right point of interest, the actress's face on the top left point of interest. You can tell a story here by making sure the eyes are drawn to those points. And again, just using it more of a guide than a strict rule. We've got the actress on the right hand side here. We've got the city in the middle of the frame, which looks fantastic. So we've got the bench in the lower third, the middle third of the actress, the top third of the skies. This is how you want to frame. Well everyone, I hope you've enjoyed this video and you found it really useful. I hope this is going to help you take your composition to the next level using Filmic Pro's grid guide. If you have learned a lot, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and remember, these are guidelines and the rules of thirds are just guidelines as well, so you can know these rules and then you know how to break them so you can make great composition and interesting composition that matches your story and film. So, thank you for watching, enjoy, take care, see you on the next one, bye bye.